I am.
So we got some corrupted files, huh?
I don't know what the heck is going on. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to hit this button instead. The Behind Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. If you have a little one and you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to need a stroller. I'll tell you what, kingdomstrollers.com is the place where you want to look into. I'll tell you, I've destroyed my fair share of strollers while at Walt Disney World, and those things are not cheap. But getting something from kingdomstrollers.com, they'll be able to help you pick out the perfect stroller for you. And the nice part is that because they're a Disney preferred provider, they'll be able to drop it off and pick it up right from your Disney resort at no extra charge. So if you don't want to necessarily destroy your stroller in the process and you want to have a great Disney vacation with your little one, contact kingdomstrollers.com and they'll set you right up. That's wow, this is new.
Howdy, partners. Did you hear that the folks over at Expedition Roasters have hit gold? Gold Rush churro flavor, that is, in Prospector's Roast. It's Expedition Roasters' latest specialty coffee release. This creation arose when the Prospector's churros were left on the mountain blasting site. Next thing you know, there's a big thunder blast, and it's raining churro dust into the campfire coffee. Eureka! A churro snack and a coffee roast. Now brew up a cup and hold on, because this here's the wildest coffee in the wilderness. And don't forget to check out their huge selection of pop culture-themed coffees, teas, and gear. Behind the Ears podcast listeners, be sure to use code EARS20 for 20% off your first order with us. That's EARS20 at expeditionroasters.com. Brew your happy place.
Coming to you live from our studios on the East Coast and in the Midwest, it's the Behind Ears podcast, because everybody does Disney differently.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears podcast. We do apologize for that static in the beginning. If you heard that, it was not intended to make your eardrums bleed. We just wanted to make sure that you were ready for the show. I am Uncle Danny. This is Mr. Chris. We are Behind the Ears podcast. If you're a long-time listener, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday right here on Facebook and or YouTube at 9:45 p.m.-ish Eastern time. All the time, right? Yeah.
Unless it's a different time zone, then it's a different time.
Oof, he's got me there. Mr. Chris, how are you?
Just basically making the world better through one logical and reasonable comment at a time.
And also making your ears bleed 1 millisecond at a time.
I can't explain that right now, other than the fact that I had Facebook running in a separate window as I was doing some sharing of groups, etc. And I think that is what caused a whole bunch of screeching. And so we apologize to all those that listen to us live. It will definitely be fixed. Those people who are listening to us via podcast, you will not be hearing that static amen.
I feel like you should keep it in just so they can experience what it's like to see a live show. I mean, you might drive off the road, but
it kind of made my ears almost bleed. So I saw what happened. I saw you go.
And the funny thing is, you are like a couple seconds behind me because it hit me first, and I was looking at you. I'm like, how's this not bothering him?
Yeah, well, I just don't know. So,
Kevin tonight wants to know if you downloaded that music from Napster.
You probably don't even know. You don't even know.
I know Napster. He said he created the internet.
The funny part about Napster was the whole idea that every once in a while you'd get a file that was what they call toasted, and it sounded just like that. It sounded like it was just total and complete corruptness. and usually you would have to run it through a program that would untoast something. It was really pretty funny. I mean, granted, that's what, circa 1997. It's definitely dating people. I mean, you were a little tyke back then. It was one of those funny.
I was a big LimeWire person.
I remember LimeWire as well. Never really used it because it was just filled with
a lot of corrupted files.
A lot of corrupted files, a lot of crapware. I mean, yeah, no, not for this guy right here. But tonight we're not going to talk about ancient file sharing programs. No siree, Bob, or no siree anybody else for that matter. We're going to do a this or that episode. That's right, this or that. And this is one of those cases where we love to hear people's input to this or that episode. And actually what's going to be kind of fun is that usually what happens is that Danny and I, we will pick 2 items to basically have the other person choose from. It could be the lesser of 2 evils. It could be the better of 2 awesome things. And we have to actually do a little bit of explaining as to why we feel that that is a better choice. And so, Danny, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start off with a fun one for you.
Okay.
Because I know you, and you like to consider the lesser of 2 evils when it comes to certain things.
I swear, if you start where I think you're going to start, I'm going to be real mad.
I sure am, because there is no other way to do this, especially since there was other interesting tidbits I read about this particular attraction over at Disneyland today, and I'm like, nah, I'm not even going to talk about that. But I would probably have to say, if you had to get stuck on a ride for anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, okay? So that's the qualification. You have to pick which one would you rather get stuck on for 30 minutes to an hour, okay? You're either going to be stuck on It's a Small World, any section of It's a Small World that you'd like. You can go ahead and pick, and it can even be the exit. Or you have to get stuck on the Indy Speedway, but you can never get off. You just kind of have to keep on going around and around and around and around for a whole 30 minutes to an hour. What would you choose, my friend?
That's actually you threw me a little loophole there, and I'm going to exploit it. I am going to go with the Great American Speedway.
Why is that?
Because I'm continuously moving. So I get to take in the ambiance. I get to take in the smells. I can still shift my legs. It's just me in the car. I can kind of lift up a little bit if things start to go numb. You told me I would get stuck in It's a Small World. That means that music is on that continuous loop, and I can't get up, and I'm crammed on a plastic bench. So literally, you've just described my purgatory. If you're so inclined to believe in those things, you literally it's torture. But I actually think it's not as bad if you had just went straight up and said It's a Small World, or which one, or Grand American Speedway. But since you gave me the option of continuously driving around and not sitting outside baking in the sun, I'm going to have to say the Great American Speedway.
See, I actually thought you would do that one too, but I actually thought you would actually hem and haw a little bit more about that one, because all I know is that after doing one lap, I would be cramped like nobody would believe on Speedway, especially if for some reason if I'm in a car that has the steering wheel on the right hand side and I have to control the gas with my left foot, because my left foot is not used to pressing down to go all the time. I mean, hey, my left foot is a clutch foot. Let's face it. You press it down intermittently. So yeah, it would be one of those cases. So you actually get stuck. Now, have you seen the new track layout? I think it's much, much shorter.
Do you think I pay attention to those things? No, I have not seen it. I know it's part of the show and it's part of my job here, but no, there's just certain things I just peruse on by. If it's up, I'm like, okay, it's up and running. That's cool. All right, now,
okay.
Something good for you. All right. All right. Would you, since we'll stay in the stuck category, being
Okay.
stuck in line. Would you rather? We're gonna go with being stuck in a queue.
Oh, okay. Q.
Queue. Would you rather be stuck in Peter Pan or I'm trying to think of something terrible? Winnie the Pooh with the kids licking the walls.
Because the Q for Peter Pan is just flat out boring.
Yeah, that's why I picked it.
Yeah, I mean that's. I'm trying to think if there's any other Q that's worse than Peter Pan.
I mean,
I'm having a hard time
Slinky
thinking
Dog
of
is a pretty bad cue.
Yeah, but at least you could see a lot of things around you.
Yeah, but you are outside.
No. Oh, Slinky Dog. For a minute, I think you were talking about I will agree with you on that. Okay. So between Peter Pan and Pooh, and of course, Danny qualifies with I have to be stuck in a queue watching kids lick the honey wall. Okay. I am going to go for the gross one, and I'm going to go for Winnie the Pooh watching kids in the honey wall, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I was going to ask you why, because that's a shocker.
Okay. Oh, you didn't expect that?
No, Peter Pan's air conditioned.
It's been so long since I've done that one.
That's air conditioning, and
I didn't even take that into consideration, to be honest with you. Interesting tidbit there. At least with watching kids lick the wall, I think that's entertaining in a way, in a sense of like that. Ew, I would have to be live streaming that just so that people understood. Just so people understood exactly what you and I have talked about for a long time, in the sense one of the most disgusting Q elements that could possibly ever be. And I'm really surprised that there hasn't been anybody putting up some sort of a sign or a placard, please don't lick the wall. I'm serious. I mean, if all the sickness and stuff that goes around, and you keep on hearing people say that they get sick while they're at Disney and stuff, that's part of the reason, people. And there's no amount of hand sanitizer you could spray on your tongue. That's the thing I would have to say. Melissa makes mention here, Peter Pan isn't terrible. You can play with Ting and shadows. Brian basically says Winnie does get better service. So, and basically Alex is like, the Peter Pan ride's not all that great. I can understand that. And Alex also makes mention, when we were talking about Slinky Dog, at least you can see the other attractions and so on. Bailey is like Pooh because you can just watch the kids licking the wall and have more to look at. I think though, after a while, I think I would probably end up regretting that decision, just because I think there's only so much you can see a kid just. Bleh.
Well, yeah, especially if it's different kids, and that like 3 minutes later, the next kid's gonna come up, but then you can make a game out of it.
Yeah, and Jerry actually makes a comment. She's like, "Whatever Q has air conditioning because it was 96 degrees today in Orlando." Ugh.
The next comment is fantastic, though.
Oh. I just signed on during the licking discussion. Yes, today we're talking about attractions you could lick here on
Tasty Q's.
Tasty Q's.
New podcast coming next fall.
Oh my gosh. I think we would have to put an explicit tag on that one. Just because that's all I'm going to say. Okay, next.
You're up.
Yeah. Okay. So, how about this? Let's stick on transportation now for a second. Let's go over to transportation. And considering I know that you're not necessarily a super duper fan of most Disney transportation, because I know you like the boats. I know you're a fan of the boats. I would probably say if you had a choice to basically being stuck stationary on a particular mode of transportation, being the monorail in August or a bus between Christmas and New Year's, and the bus is full, the monorail is both full, which one would you rather get stuck on?
The bus. Simply because you said August for the monorail, and the monorail already smells like dirty diapers. So then now you need to add the fact that there really is no airflow on those monorails. It's packed. It's August. People forget to wear deodorant, or it just runs out very quickly.
Yeah.
The week between Christmas and Christmas and New Year's tends to be a little bit cooler. So maybe people aren't sweating as much, might not stink as much. And I've never really gone on a bus that really stunk outside of people on the bus. So
it's okay. You know what? I interesting that you actually go for that based upon the weather. And I did quantify that as a little bit of just fun. But you're right, if you think about it, because a hot bus, oh man, I've been on buses in the middle of August when they've stopped.
Not fun, but still, I mean, on a warm April day, the monorail still says, in Heather's words, the monorail smells like a barnyard.
You know, it's funny you say that. The monorail smells like a barnyard. My wife will still be more.
She loves it.
She'll be more than happy to get stuck in the monorail. So, and so I wouldn't necessarily agree on that, but I will say this. I know this sounds really rude for me to say, but don't you think that there was something to be said in the Q show, the pre-show for Muppet Vision 3D, when Rizzo talks about, we're testing deodorant strength. Don't you think that was a little nod?
Like, hey, what you doing?
I mean, think about it. Have you ever really stepped back and listened to that one and laughed and haha, and then it struck you like, oh, dude, he ain't kidding,
I got a good one. A good one for you. Okay. Would you rather be stuck behind the family that continuously walks 5 abreast down the side of Main Street during a parade, stopping to look at shop windows and maps, or get stuck in a queue? Doesn't matter the ride, any queue, could be fast pass line, doesn't matter. You're just not even stuck. You're just in line with a tour group, those particular tour groups.
Oh man. That is not an easy one.
No, it's really I honestly have to think about where I would even go with that.
This is not to sound rude. I mean zero disrespect when I ask this question. Just want everybody to know that. Can I understand what the tour group is saying?
50-50.
Okay. In other words, do I have my daughter as my interpreter there?
Simple.
I love
high school education, foreign language class. You can make out a couple words.
I love how my daughter is very bilingual, and I can't. I'm like bilingual illiterate. I can't read or write in 2 different foreign languages, because I can understand some languages. I just don't know how to actually speak them well. Ooh. I'm really, this is really hard because I have been in that very situation, and I'm going to say I'm going to get stuck behind the people walking 5 abreast down Main Street, because at least then, if I had to, I think there's easier routes away from that situation. Ha! Bailey says, "Can I choose death?" Death is too easy. Steven says 5 across. Nick says behind the walking group for sure. It's one of those cases. I would too. And the reason why is because, if you're in it for an attraction, let's say even if it's your average 30-minute wait, I've been behind tour groups, and about half the time it's okay. I'll be honest with you. The other half of the time I purposely hold back a little bit, like 4 or 5 extra steps back, because usually they can get rowdy, and I don't really want to be in the middle of that rowdiness. I'm going to be really honest. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything else like that. It's just I would rather back off a little bit, let them do their thing, and so on and so forth. Because a lot of times, they're having fun. They're just not paying attention. And a lot of times they'll do things, they'll bump into you or this, that, and the other. And, especially in a hot summer, I don't really feel like being bumped into people multiple times. Hey, bumping in, you're crowded. You're going to get bumped once in a while. You turn around, you look, and you say, hey, I'm sorry about that. I'm the kind of guy that apologizes when someone else bumps into me. So, but,
and so just so you know, the next 2 get progressively worse. I've got 2 already lined up in the queue for you.
Oh, good Lord.
That was just the appetizer.
Oh, really? If that's gosh. All right. So I better really come up with some really good ones here. So I'm gonna take you for a ride on this one. A ride, or basically Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin, has to be replaced by a different attraction. Okay. You have to pick between the following 2 attractions, or 2 themes or ideas. And I'm not saying that these are any sort of other attraction that are any other park. I'm making this stuff up as I go along. You have to choose between like an Indiana Jones themed shooting attraction of some sort, or you have to choose between a Star Wars.
Oh, hands down, Indiana Jones. I like Indiana Jones. I dislike Star Wars completely.
Okay.
I just don't like the spectacular. I think it's played out. The Indiana Jones spectacular.
Oh,
I just think it's played out and needs to go. I mean, I was actually bringing up that they were talking about they already started filming for Indiana Jones. Was it 5 then, I guess, technically? Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. Hands down, Indiana Jones.
I guess I was trying to throw you a curveball because I didn't realize that you actually liked the Indiana Jones movies.
The whole series has been very well done. I enjoy it.
I agree. I love them myself. I mean, I really do enjoy I have all of them. And what's really cool is I'd love to be able to sit down and watch them like one right after another at a cold winter day type of thing. And it looks like a lot of people are saying the same thing. Indiana Jones, everybody's agreeing with you, Danny, on this one. And here I am. I thought I was going to throw you a curve and have you cringe, but I will sit corrected. The only bad part about it is now I'm really wondering what you're going to say next.
Do you want the really bad one, or do you want the one that would? It's bad, but it's not that bad.
I would say go in progression.
Okay. What would you rather deal with? Being on a dark ride and having people use flash photography the entire time, getting a great spot for fireworks, and then a child goes on the shoulders in front of you. And that's not even the bad one.
And you know how to really get me on this one, because those are 2 of my.
That's what you get for coming out swinging with Great American Speedway. It's a small world. Daddy, don't play.
Oh my gosh, because for those of you who don't know, as someone who's a novice photographer, I try to always be the courteous photographer, right? I mean, you don't use flash on dark rides. In fact, my whole take on it is if you have to use flash on a ride, you're doing it wrong. I'm also the kind of person. I have been screwed over by other guests who have hoisted their kids up on their shoulders right in front of me right before the fireworks started. And it's just one of those things. Yeah, things will make you scream for 500, Danny. That's what we were basically saying. I'm going to say shoulder. I'm going to say shoulder kid.
I would agree.
I think at least on a dark ride, I can yell and be obnoxious and not like get into some sort of a fight because I'm in my ride vehicle and they're in their ride vehicle type of thing. I picture like Haunted Mansion, right? And someone in a doom buggy that's 2 or 3 over flashes. I could go ahead and say something and they wouldn't really know it was me, but I would be able to kind of get away with being a little bit of a jerk. The shoulder kid. First off, I don't blame the kid. No, I blame the parent. And, I know that this is one of those somewhat touchy subjects, right? But I see it as very uncourteous, unmagical. I also think it's very dangerous for the child as well as the parent for that matter. That's just my 2 cents.
That's where me and you differ a little bit when it comes to the dangerous part. I don't know. I throw my niece and my nephew on my shoulders all the time. Just hold on tight. But
yeah, I know. But it is
still a safety thing. I get it. I mean,
yeah,
both are great things too.
I realize it's a little bit of a difference of opinion, between the reasonings behind it. But I think we both agree that it's still.
Oh, Mary just gave you a good one, by the way.
What's that?
Don't put it up there because you could use it against me.
Oh, you mean the?
Yeah. I would go with the shoulders simply. I would rather deal with that one simply because if it's a fireworks show, you're going to lose a display on the castle, but at least the fireworks are up where the kids really wouldn't be interfering.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I also think here's the thing though. I guess it really kind of depends because I would probably be more upset at that because if I'm actually in a spot where I could actually see the castle, it means I put effort into getting a spot to actually see the castle. Because it was kind of interesting because Brian and I were having a chat over the WDW community page. And, in essence, I do think that they have, Disney has kind of narrowed your field of view of the castle for the shows. And, that's okay. That's, things look really nice and so on and so forth, but it has narrowed the field of vision of things that you can do and see. So unfortunately, it takes away from my experience. I have found alternative experiences that I love just as much, if not even better. But, that's just one of the things. I think if I'm really there, I want to see that show.
Before you ask me, what's your shirt?
Oh, it's Carousel of Progress.
Where'd you get that?
I probably bought it from DisneyStore.com or ShopDisney.com.
Really like that shirt.
Celebrate the 40th anniversary of Carousel of Progress.
I really like that shirt. Okay. All right. You're up.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take Steve's because I think I appreciate this, Marion. Thank you. Tell Steve, thank you very much. Give him a high five for me where he says, Pizza Planet or Planet Hollywood, because we know that you just love to go to Planet Hollywood at times. Oh, by the way, that was total and complete sarcasm. Boy, I didn't know that you're just grinding on this one.
Because I know whatever I say, I'm just going to hate myself at the end of the day.
Oh, wait. Would it be easier if I said you actually are served Pizza Planet Pizza in Planet Hollywood?
Oh, God.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was in my purgatory before. Now I'm in hell. Yeah, Planet Hollywood. I'm just gonna bank that the food's not bad. Pizza Planet food was terrible. The ambiance was terrible. The decor was terrible. The whole restaurant. It was just disgusting and terrible. Granted, I didn't eat their food, so when I say the pizza was terrible, I'm just assuming that it was microwave pizza. Planet Hollywood tends to be a Applebee's style, TGIF Fridays, Chili's, whatever you have type of food from what I've seen. I think I've got a better shot of enjoying the food there. And I'm sure inside is very nice. I'm sure it's well done. Planet Hollywood's, I've been to some in my life, and the insides have always been very well done. So I'm gonna have to give it to Planet Hollywood, even though it hurts me to say it, but that's how much I honestly despise Pizza Planet.
Okay. I said, if I had my choice, I don't know. I'd probably do Planet Hollywood as well if I really had a choice. I mean, there's better pizza. Planet Hollywood at least has some variety. Although, if I had my choice, I'd still go to T-Rex instead.
Oh, yeah, but that just wasn't my option. All right.
No, I know. Hey, you know what? I want to throw this up really quick from Nicole. She says here, Danny, next time you go, get on your knees while watching the fireworks. You'll see what a kid's view is. I never realized how little my kids could see until I dropped something one show and bent down. After that, I made a more conscious effort to not block too high with my own kids or me being tall. So I stand in front of walls and posts now. That's an interesting way to really look at things in order to be conscientious of like a person's own height even.
But I was for the kids being picked up.
No. I think that, I think that's true. I think we were it just kind of goes along with the conversation that we were having about putting kids on shoulders and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I'm for putting kids on shoulders, but I understand. But like you said, picking your spot to do it. I also am more for if it's a bad spot, just hold your kid. I know it's not the most convenient thing to do, but you hold them compared to lifting them on your shoulders. But
that's one thing we didn't talk about though, is where you're specifically standing to see something, and I think that makes a big difference too.
Okay, so
that's a good one. Anyway,
here's your heavy hitter.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get rid of one of these.
Ooh,
one goes away forever.
Okay.
California Grill, Casey's Corner.
Casey's.
I figured only because I thought California Grill had more options.
You know, it's one of those cases. I love Casey's, okay? But right now, they've made a lot of different changes. And now the only thing I'd really go there is just for the corn dog nuggets. And at the same time, it's as much as I really am a big fan of the corn dog nuggets, I am not necessarily going there. You know, every time I walk past, I'm not picking up a corn dog nuggets order. No. But California Grill, too good in my opinion to even think twice on that one.
Wow.
But
I mean, you would have struggled with the corn dog nuggets a little bit.
You know, if I had to choose, let's face it. Between the sushi and the filet over at California Grill, I get
it. I put a fast food style restaurant against a fine dining, so I can't be upset that that's how it went. I thought I would have given you a little more of a struggle.
But the thing of it is that if you try, you see, if you try to put together other two and you put it against something that is almost equivalent, you know, like
if you wanted two heavy hitters, you could have went California Grill versus Yachtsman.
Oh my gosh. You see, that would be a challenge. That would be a challenge, and I would probably say, believe it or not, I would probably say Yachtsman. Yeah,
because you're really only getting steak there. You do have other options at California Grill.
Yes, both of them are excellent. But I would definitely, because Kelly is very diverse in its food offerings. But I was gonna say, if you're gonna try something like, say, Be Our Guest versus Commissary, because both of them are relatively diverse. And you take away the ambiance, it's still, those are two heavy hitters in those particular areas. So
you're up.
Okay. I'm up. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go. This would be a tough call, I think. I'm going to go with what Kevin's asking here. One goes away. Pirates of the Caribbean or the TTA?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a boat ride. There's a million boat rides in Disney. What? I don't care.
I'm actually a little
Let
surprised.
me break down on it all the time. The TTA, it's calming. It's relaxing. There's never a long line for you. Get a little wind in whatever couple hairs I've got left. I get to go inside, outside, back inside, in the dark and the light. It's too nice of a ride. No way. Pirates of the Caribbean can go away. Honestly, I don't even ride it every trip. I truly don't.
I don't either.
The only thing I like about that ride, I mean, the music's cool. It's inside, so that's nice. I like the little drop because I always forget it's there.
I'm actually surprised that you say that, only because I was thinking a more exciting attraction versus something like you said is very relaxing. Although I would really be upset if they got rid of TTA. Just like, one simply does not get rid of the TTA per Bailey. And I agree with Bailey. It's kind of like they had something very similar over in Disneyland and it's no longer there, but the track is still there. And it's kind of like, oh, why can't you? It just seems like you really should.
You want to talk about a ride that really lets down in a gift shop again? Disney does that sometimes. That Pirates of the Caribbean's gift shop is nothing to talk about.
Got an example?
I just don't think it's a good gift shop. I don't think there's enough there. For how big of a franchise the Pirates of the Caribbean movie became, I feel like you would be pumping merchandise left and right. They have that whole open air market that you walk out to, but it's overpriced shirts and tchotchkes. I don't know. I mean, I still think the biggest disappointment is probably Tower of Terrors, but that's neither here nor there.
I think both of them are actually pretty. No, both of them need some. Okay, both of them need some really interesting overhauls. Although I will say this: you can do a Tower of Terror motif in your house with some good items from that gift shop. I think that I think it was really there are some good things in there. Although for the longest time they had the Tower of Terror movie just sitting there as like, as it was like some blockbuster with a very young Kirsten Dunst. Spoiler alert, movie did not really pass Chris's 15-minute test.
You didn't even make it 15 minutes?
Which is very rare for Chris in a Disney movie, because I try to, tend to kind of chill out a little bit. Although I've always wanted to get the Hollywood Tower Hotel bathrobe. Just for some reason, it looks really cool, but it's white, and white bathrobe, nah.
All right, so I'm up for you.
Yeah.
All right, since both of these are going to be going away, one is gone, one is going away. Which one would you give up, and which one would you keep? I think I know where you're going to go, so it's very silly for me even to ask this. Wishes, which is gone, but you can bring it back. No, because you like Happily Ever After. All right, I'm going to change it up. Illuminations, you can keep it. It could stay if you pick it. Or, I'm so torn between a couple things I want to throw back at it. Osborne Lights.
Ooh. Wow, I'm going to have to think this through for a second, because Osborne Lights has some real tradition to it. But here's the thing. I was only able to enjoy Osborne Lights maybe twice in the past 20 years. Okay. So it's not like my vacations have been properly timed to really enjoy Osborne Lights. So because of that, I would say keeping / continuing Illuminations would be my choice between the two of those.
That's so silly. Osborne Lights. You kidding me?
No.
I get it. If you've never got to experience a lot, I get it.
But I will put a little caveat to it. If for some reason they brought something like Osborne Lights as something of a nightly effect to, say, Disney Springs or somewhere else in another park where you can enjoy it on a nightly basis and have it, kind of move throughout the night, which I really honestly think they could do something really fun like that at Disney Springs and really bring out like the marketplace area. I think that would be so cool if they would bring that technology in. I know it wouldn't be the same, but try something like that. I think that would be really cool. I would do that. So, but there's a lot of people. I mean,
it started off hot for Illuminations, and now we're starting to see some Osborne Lights here.
Yeah. Some people are like, I could drive around Orlando for Christmas lights.
I don't want to do that. I want to be in the park.
Yeah. So, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to adapt Steve's question here for you. He's like he's basically saying if you had to get rid of one park entirely, I'll help you out. If you had to get rid of either Epcot or Magic Kingdom, two parks that I know that you're not going to balk at, which one would it be? Because I know you don't like Animal Kingdom, and I know that you're not the biggest fan of studios.
Well, I used to love the old MGM.
I know
it's still my favorite park, but
I know
Star Wars taking it over. Oof. All right, this is probably gonna be. I'm probably gonna be in the minority when I say this one. I'm getting rid of Magic Kingdom.
Ooh.
Simply because of the food. There's not enough to eat in Magic Kingdom, and there is a plethora to eat in Epcot.
I can't really debate that one because if you're going off of that particular logic, that is actually relatively sound logic.
I mean, ride-wise, yeah, Magic Kingdom, but really, think about Magic Kingdom's heavy hitters. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Not the biggest fan. Space Mountain. Breaks my back. Splash Mountain. Don't get wet enough. Big Thunder Mountain. Little kid roller coaster. Am I missing any other major attractions inside Magic Kingdom? Epcot. Epcot, you have Test Track. You've got Soarin'. You've got Living with the Land. There's no, Melissa, you can't, no one in this chat right now can sit here and tell me, I'm not trashing Magic Kingdom. I guess I am. All I'm saying is you can't sit here and tell me that Magic Kingdom, take the allure away from it. Take the idea of the castle and walking down Main Street. Take that nonsense all out. You cannot tell me that Magic Kingdom is as heavy hitter as Epcot. I just named you all their big attractions, not as big as Epcot's. And Epcot is only going to grow. Epcot is getting Ratatouille. Epcot is getting Gardens of the Galaxy. They're getting the space restaurant. What? Yeah, I would lose Carousel Progress and TTA. You're right, Nick. You're right. But you can't tell me, food-wise, anything in Magic Kingdom holds a candle to Epcot. Yeah, Heather, just move it on over. Just move it on over. Take Tomorrowland. Just move it on over to Epcot, and I'll never go in the Magic Kingdom again. Outside of a Rice Krispie treat, I got no reason to go. Jungle Cruise. These are good rides, but they're not worth me. Oh, all right, Tron. True. I respect that, Trisha. I respect that, but then I'll just go back to my original point. No one could tell me that Magic Kingdom is leaps and bounds better than Epcot when it comes to food, because it's not. Epcot doesn't hold it. Magic Kingdom doesn't hold a candle to Epcot's food.
A very true statement. a very true statement. You cannot, Animal Kingdom has some pretty good eateries. Epcot has some pretty good eateries. Studios is like third on that list. They've got some good ones, but Magic Kingdom really, you know what? I'll tell you right now. Magic Kingdom, I think, needs a really good, not IP themed restaurant.
Brian says it best. Epcot's bad food is better than Magic Kingdom's good food.
It's better than, doesn't make a good food. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of just summarized what he said to make it a little cleaner. Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't give me parameters. You guys said pick a park. I picked Epcot, and my reason behind it was food.
You see, the interesting part is that, like, here's the interesting. Like Alex says, Epcot has small portions, and you pay $20. I don't know where you're going, Alex, but outside of the Food and Wine Fest, I don't know.
You're not paying 20.
No, I'm not seeing that at all. It's kind of like I know that you're paying a lot of money when you get some of the samples. I get it, but you know what? Anytime I go to a nice sit down restaurant at Epcot, I walk out. They roll me out, with the exception of Nine Dragons. I think that's the only one I thought of myself. Yeah, I felt good, and an hour later I was hungry again. I'll go ahead and admit that.
Like seriously, what? All right, Skipper Canteen. I've heard good reviews. Haven't eaten there, but let's call, what is it? The Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Pinocchio's. Crystal Palace. The Plaza. Okay, Plaza's not half bad actually. Tony's garbage. Casey's okay. I mean, granted, I know the old Tonys. I don't know the new Chef Tonys. So let's be real there. But no, not saying you walk into Epcot and everything is good at Epcot. I'm not saying that at all. But
no.
England's got great food. Like, and I'll give you a great example. America has crap food in Epcot.
Well, it's fast food. It's American.
Yeah, but that's like, you could have made so many better dishes. Like, how's there not jambalaya? You don't have seafood from like Maine or stuff like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have really.
You do have a very good point there, because they do have some really cool. They have some good eats there, but you kind of have to be in the mood for those particular good eats. They've got they had like a prime rib burger, which basically was like prime rib shaved on top of a burger, which I'll admit was really good.
Yeah, during Flower Garden they had a brisket and everything. Okay, but I'm not talking festivals. I'm just talking straight menu items. I mean, and I understand it's unfair to compare the two, because Epcot is basically based around its food, but that's how I determined the two parks, because I mean, how do you compare the castle to anything else? So that was my way of defending that I thought Epcot would stay and Magic Kingdom would go. I didn't say it was going to be a popular opinion. I did say it was going to be in the minority, but I'm telling you, a lot of people are starting to hear what I'm saying. They're like, "Hey, you ain't that bad."
It's almost like sometimes you have to pick the one that you know isn't going to. Again, you're picking the lesser of two evils in some ways.
Yeah.
So, whose turn is it?
Mine.
Okay.
Would you rather? I'm going to give you two countries that are going to be that I would like to appear inside of Epcot World Showcase.
Yeah.
One would be Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So some nice Greek food.
Okay.
The second, I would like a South American country. Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia. But let's say, for argument's sake, based off the rumors that we saw break today, rumors once again from a questionable site, we'll go Brazil. Would you rather see Brazil or Greece?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one, because I think both of them would really actually make both of them
make very good food.
Well, it's not just a food, although that does play a very big role. Because let's face it, some South American food was great. Going to a good Greek restaurant, oh, you know, you can do yourself some good damage there. Okay, I am going to say Brazil, and
okay.
and this is there's a little bit to my answer here. My reasoning for it is because I think it'd be nice to understand South American culture a little bit better. I mean, this is my 2 cents. If I had my choice of learning more about culture between somewhere in South America versus Greece, I would choose that. I'd love to visit Greece someday.
Yeah, beautiful.
To be honest with you, but I mean, it's because it's beautiful, beautiful country. But there is some definite beauty in South America that I think is worth looking at as well. Again, I think a lot of times, if you go, oh yeah, Michelle, Brazilian steakhouse, oy, oy, oy. I would be all over that. It's like, I'd get there. When do you open? 11 o'clock? Okay. It's all you can eat. I'll be there until Illuminations. So, it's one of those things. But I don't know. I would like to learn more about that particular culture, because I think it's more than just the food at the different pavilions in Epcot. I love to learn more about, the culture and different things.
That is a stellar observation by Chris. Greece could also eventually carry a Hercules attraction. If you don't have a giant Hercules somewhere right there, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's a very good point.
And let's face it, there's nowhere else where you see that.
Now, I have Spanish family members, so I'm well versed in South American culture. So it's not that I don't want to see Brazil, but tzatziki sauce and gyros, what are they called? Gyros. Between those two, oh my! I'll tell you what. If Greece put out tzatziki sauce and gyros, watch out, Tangerine Cafe. You might come down on my list as #1 eatery. That's how much I like tzatziki sauce.
Surprised that you don't say, I like it so much. How much do you like it? I put it on anything humans can consume.
I do like a good tzatziki sauce. But, all right, you're up.
Okay.
If you don't have anything, Nicole recommended something.
You know what? What did Nicole recommend?
Would you rather, now this is to me, would you rather Broken Down on Small World, so we did cover that one, but Broken Down on Small World or Final Singing Imagination Theme Room of Figment?
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the Figment only because I think it's a tad bit catchier of a tune than it's a Small World. And Small World's very catchy tune, but something about those dolls that creep me out a little too much.
The thing is, with the Figment closing, it's loud. It's like they sing that at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, although I do believe it's a little catchier. And let's face it, dude, it's comfier.
The
ride vehicle is much more conducive to being stuck.
And cooler in there.
Yeah. I mean, besides, it's as people were saying, it's Figment. I mean, I still say bring Figment back, everybody. I really do. I really truly believe that. I would love to have Figment come back. That's just me, But it's just one of those things. You know what? Okay, wait, hold on a second. We have some amazing Greek restaurants there. You got to go next time. We're down in Indy.
Well, talk to Aaron and tell him let's move one of those meets that we do. Maybe that pizzeria after the show. Maybe we don't go there. Maybe we, slide on over, go get some, gyros. I mean, I'm up for anything. If the lamb is cooked right, I'm gonna eat it. And if it's not cooked right, I'm probably still gonna eat it. I want the meat sweats, baby.
Oh, wait a second. No, don't do that. No, we're not doing that, Nicole, and I'll tell you why. I've got a room with this guy.
I don't down the 55 still sweating.
I don't think this is a good idea. Let's totally abort that idea. Just nope. I've got to no. But it's bad enough with this guy snoring like the buzzsaw. I actually have to bring earplugs. That's right. It's not a joke. I brought earplugs. Fortunately, the second time, I don't know what was going on. He didn't need them, or I didn't need them. So,
this whole nostril is broken. I can't help it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all fractured all up in there, and then it just shut.
Okay.
Let's see something else.
I think we have time for like one good one left.
Ooh, a good one. I don't have a good one. A good one.
I'm gonna take what Michelle said here. I'm gonna twist this around a little bit, because she mentions Disney's America, which, as we know from our friend Jake over at Bright Sun Films, was something that never came to be. And I'm also going to bring up Disney Quest. So, now, granted, I don't know if you remember much about what Jake talked about on Disney's America. We are going to have Jake on the show in the near future. But if you had to choose between bringing one defunct idea back, would you bring Disney Quest in a more modern sense, I should say? Would you bring that one in? Or would you consider a Disney's America, which would be a different type of standalone park in probably, I'll say, the DC area or something around there, where I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, was where it was originally planned. And the Disney Quest would be, you can take your pick, either in Orlando, or you can say, somewhere within an hour or so driving distance of you, whether it be like Atlantic City or New York City. I don't know how far you are from
both.
New York City.
Wondering, all right. As much as I would like to say Disney Quest, because I think it could be really done well, to have a Disney park in Virginia, which is a 6-hour drive, give or take, to me, and DC is my favorite place in the world. I really do love DC. I'm gonna have to go with a Disney park that's a 6-hour drive, that I can make a long weekend or a very short helicopter ride if need be. I'm gonna have to go with the Disney park. As much as Disney Quest would be really cool, I think having a Disney park that much closer to me would be actually really cool.
Because it's one of those things where you can actually leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, get there by lunch, enjoy a whole day there, stay the night, go one more day until 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock and be home by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah,
that's a nice long weekend, or at least not, a nice overnight trip. Doesn't cost you too much. You could do it multiple times per year type of thing.
Why do I love DC? I like museums, and they got a lot. Air and space, science. It's just quaint. A lot of bums, though.
You know what?
There's a lot of bums.
I didn't realize you were a museum person.
Oh, I love museums.
So I'll tell you what. If I may be able to swing this, because while I let it expire, it's most likely I'm going to renew my annual pass to the Museum of Science and Industry here in Chicago. And I usually get a family package, and I can actually get in for free on that pass at the Indiana State Museum, which is in Indianapolis. And being that you and I may have a little bit of time left between the end of the Indy Disney meet and when we are supposed to be catching our flights possibly on the next day to head down for the Food and Wine Fest, maybe we could spend an hour or two there and just kind of peruse it a little bit. You may like it. You may be interested in it. It's downtown Indianapolis.
And I love downtown Indy. Very beautiful place. Me and Chris got to explore it a little bit last Indy Disney meet. We had we didn't do our annual shooting gallery. So we decided to go downtown Disney. Took me to the soda place. Downtown Disney is electrifying. I literally
Indy, not downtown Disney.
Did I say downtown Disney? Oh, my bad. Downtown Indy. I remember coming home to Lindsay and I said, if I had to ever move out to the Midwest for any reason, I'll tell you what, downtown Indy was a great time. And this is Nicole, I'll tell you, Fisher's, that restaurant we go to on Friday nights, I remember talking to Lindsay when I was on the phone, that is a happening place. If I could have a little house like right there, I'd be all over that. Now, granted, it's the Midwest, so no disrespect to our Midwest people, just a little too slow for Uncle Danny's taste, but beautiful place.
Which I think we'll go ahead and start closing up a little bit with just this to say, here we are, we're in the beginning of the summer. And I know people are trying to plan out their summertime vacations, long weekends, etc. I don't think it's too early to plug the idea that we are really excited to go down to the Indy Disney Meet September 21st, which I know is obviously on the other side of summer. Danny and I are really looking forward to going down there again and being a part of the action. We love partnering with them to raise money for Give Kids the World. And, we've been posting different things about some of the great Disney personalities that are going to be there. And to be honest with you, we can't wait to see all those people again. And we can't wait to hang out with a lot of Disney fans in general. And we get to meet a lot of new people as well, which is always a big time fun. So as you could also see that Danny and I, we enjoy downtown Indianapolis. And there are so many really cool things to see and do. It's, even if you are making it a little bit of a long weekend type of trip, it's well worth it. I mean, even if you come from 5, 6, 7, 8 hours away, get a couple of hotel rooms, enjoy the city. It is a beautiful city to enjoy. And come down, help us raise some money for Give Kids the World, and enjoy some very notable speakers, a lot of fun, and you get to see us. Let's face it, we like that idea too. We'll be talking it up more, but if you have any questions about that, please do not hesitate to contact us over at behindthearspodcast@gmail.com or send us a private message over at the Behind the Ears Podcast Facebook page. And, if we don't have the answer, we will find out the answer or direct you to wonderful people such as Nicole who help coordinate that particular event. And, we'll definitely help make it happen. It is a fantastic time, and we really do sincerely hope that you would like to come down to Indy and see everything. Fabulous city, fabulous weekend, fabulous cause.
Take us away, Mr. Chris.
Well, I'm going to take us away, and I'll be honest with you. I sure hope this works and people don't get killed. So here we go. You heard the show, and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net, and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. Once again, I'm Uncle Danny. That was Mr. Chris, and you just heard, well, some of you heard a live recording. Others of you heard just a recorded show. I don't really have any other way of explaining that to all of you. Like Mr. Chris said, please follow us on all our social media platforms. You can always email us at behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. Trisha would kill me if I didn't mention it. So please join the WDW community Facebook page. And Chris would also, well, not this Chris, the other Chris Hiller, would like to let you know that we are doing a giveaway. For any information and what we're giving away, simply head on over to the Behind the Ears Podcast Instagram page. The drawing will end tomorrow at 7 a.m. and tomorrow would be June 5th. So people downloading this, I apologize. You should just follow us on Instagram anyway. So we'll do more giveaways. We are almost tied up, ready to go to start shipping out all of our marathon stuff, just tying up a couple of loose ends. Within the next week and a half, everything should be out the door in the mail, and hopefully, if not on your doorstep, on the way to your doorstep. With that being said, I hope you all have a safe and wonderful rest of your week. Be safe. Yeah. Tuck your kids in tight, wear your seatbelts. Don't forget, tip your waitress. I'm Uncle Danny. Until next time.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Really enjoyed talking about this or that episode. Always is a lot of fun, especially when Danny and I try to outdo each other and try to, well, gross each other out or make us cringe or whatever. It's always a fun time. Can't wait to do it again. Well, I'll tell you what, had a great time. We hope to see you again real soon. But until we meet again, we hope you have an absolutely magical day. Take care.